is Rafi Guzon, and you are tuned in to Nothing But That Sports Talk. Get you in the game. Welcome back to another episode of Nothing But That Sports Talk. I'm Rafi Guzon alongside Deb Whitcas. Welcome back to the show. How you doing? And yeah, good job with all the stuff you're doing for the Blonde Blitz with Nikki
Thank you.
Gist.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, back again. Now,
Right?
but before we get into all things NFL playoffs, this is part 2 of the NFL playoff preview. I watched a lot of I watched some of your interviews and some of your episodes you dealt with Nikki. Like, what's about the whole experience about how you guys evolved as podcast hosts working together?
Sure. So I actually met Nikki through the Fantasy Sports Corporation. It was Super Bowl last year, and she, the owner of the YouTube channel reached out to me and was like, "I want you to meet Nikki, and we'll have you on for, obviously I'm a huge Eagles fan. Eagles were in the Super Bowl. She covers the Giants, so she was leading the NFL East. I'm sorry, the NFC East, NFC East. Hello, Deb. Panel, and so she had a bunch of questions for me, and I was on the show, and that's how I met her. And we just immediately clicked, to be honest. We're both from New Jersey, both former dancers, both huge football fans. She covers the Giants, I cover the Chargers. And we just clicked, and we both became available. And we kind of talked, and we're like, let's do a show together. So that's kind of how that all came about. So I met her in the podcasting world, and now we're together in the podcasting world. So it's been fun.
That's what I'm talking about. And you know what? I mean, I've had Nikki on the show, and she gave a perspective on it. Of course, you remember that episode. And I'm glad you allowed her to come on the show with us, and she
Of
is
course,
very talented, and she's also a hardcore New York Knicks fan too. But
she is.
but but I digress. Ever since then, you've had a lot of episodes. You gave a lot of perspective. Nikki gave her perspective on Cowboy fans, and yeah, now I know they're going to be delusional now that they won the NFC East, and
Yeah,
thanks to my New York Giants, you guys had to get through the 5th seed and
I know.
no game
It,
against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now that but this transition into that, yeah, what's the confidence level for your Philadelphia Eagles after the way the season ended? Because you lost 4 of the last 5 games. You lost to Arizona. You lost
yep.
with my New York Giants. It's got smoked in MetLife Stadium, and then of course there's the one loss to the New York Jets.
Yes. It's been a rough season. To be honest, I said from the very first game, this Eagles team this year is just not the Super Bowl team that we saw last year. We had a new defensive coordinator, we had a new offensive coordinator, and some of the athletes left, and we obviously got new ones through the draft and through trades and whatever. It just wasn't the same team. And yes, we at one point the Eagles had a 10-1 record, but they barely squeaked by on some of those games in overtime. Kansas City, the Bills, losing to the Jets. Yeah, I mean, and we all knew that whole week 11 to week 15, we all knew that the Eagles had to win up front, because week 11 to week 15 were going to be the hard spots. And that's where they were. That's where they started losing. And then Arizona, everyone thought they were going to, Arizona, the Eagles were going to blow out Arizona. I was one of the people that said it was going to be a closer game, and they wound up losing. So, yeah, you just don't know. And then with the Giants game, that still just blows me away that we lost to that one. So, it's been. I mean, I think we won that one because we lost that one because of injury. I mean, Hurts was hurt. Brown was out, Smith was out, Swift was out. The defense just is young and couldn't hold them. And the defense honestly has been the problem the entire season. It's gonna be a tough game against the Buccaneers. I still think the Eagles. I have faith that the Eagles can get their act together and get the passion back and go back to the fundamentals and win this game. Just play football, and I think they're going to take it. But also too, Baker Mayfield. I've been saying it all season to Nikki. I love him in Tampa. If there's an upset, I'm not going to be shocked.
You mean you love the fact that you're not going to be shocked that Baker Mayfield beats Jalen Hurts, the guy who was
No,
in the Super Bowl last year, barely losing to Kansas City? I mean, oh yeah, you mentioned you did beat. At least you made sure avenge that Super Bowl loss earlier this season, and
sure.
you split with the Dallas Cowboys. But in
Mhm.
these things, as a New York Giants fan, you should have been the one winning like 24-3. Not the New York Giants. We lost Dale Jones after the loss to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yep.
We weren't even all that great. I mean, they picked up good wins, but we were supposed to be taking for Kylie Williams. But they managed to
And
win against the Green Bay Packers. They managed to get wins against the Washington Commanders, and
yeah.
they barely defeated the New England Patriots only because they missed a field goal.
Right. And to be honest, that very first game against the Giants that we played against you guys,
We were breathing down your neck.
yeah, I mean, I was I was a
We
little
had an
scared
interception.
after
We were
after
breathing
Tommy
down your neck.
Cutlets was taken out, and then you put in Taylor. I was like, this is not. When it was tied up, I was like, we were all on pins and needles. Like we were just,
Yeah,
it
you
was
were
hard to
mentioning.
breathe.
Yeah, you were mentioning that. Yeah, you benched Tommy DeVito because you were railroading us like crazy and put in Tyron Taylor. Those quarterback.
Mhm.
Well, okay. If it wasn't for Dale Jones being the starting quarterback next year, I would say that Tommy DeVito has a future for the New York Giants. It's,
I think he has a future as a backup. I think Daniel Jones is going to be the starter.
Tyron Taylor is so at best. I mean,
Yeah,
this is the same Tommy DeVito that didn't do anything and lost to the New York Jets.
right. Yeah, I mean, I think Taylor's a little bit better of a quarterback than DeVito, but we'll see. We'll see what plays out.
Yeah, we'll see. And yeah, now that we're well, obviously you picked the Philadelphia. Are you still picking the Philadelphia Eagles to get past Tampa Bay?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going Eagles 20, Bucks 17 on this game. But like I said, and it's actually funny because Nikki called me out as well as our producer Dan. They were like, "Well, what's your confidence in that score?" And I was like, like a one or a two." So
This
yeah, not many
was
confidence points
the
on
NFC
that one.
champions. And you know what? I'm agree. You know what? I'm gonna share a brain with you because I told my guy Ryan Walker on the show that the Eagles might get past the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We agreed on that one. And then
Yep,
and if they end up facing the San Francisco 49ers,
there's no way.
I have you guys beating the San Francisco 49ers, even though they
You
railroad.
do?
I have the Eagles beat the 49ers, even though they railroad you guys, even though they railroad you guys in Philadelphia, when they were the favorites.
Okay, so why do you have the Eagles beating San Francisco? This I gotta hear.
I just feel that when the offense gets it going and Jalen Hurts gets a lot less interceptions, he'll outshine Brock Purdy by a mile.
Really? Okay. I mean, I think Brock Purdy's extremely good. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk. I mean, they've got some name. I mean, Kittle. I mean, I, I I had said last year. I had said in the beginning of the season, I didn't think nobody was going to beat San Francisco. Obviously, they did, and I think Deebo Samuel being out had a lot to do with that. They got back. Yeah, I mean, San Fran is a force. We'll see. I mean,
Yeah,
never count the Eagles out, never.
they
But
barely lost the last game of the season, but yeah, they're a force.
yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, they lost the last game of the season because they didn't care and it didn't matter. They had already locked up the NFC, NFC. So it was fine. But yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, that would I love that idea that the Eagles are beating San Francisco. That would be amazing. I'm not sure if it's a reality, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. All right. Now,
Very excited for the weekend, though. I'm
yeah,
excited to watch some
now we
really good
get to the other
football.
matchups. I mean, what other NFL playoff matchups excite you the most? Because for me, I'm probably gonna have to pick the Detroit Lions and Los Angeles Rams. I mean, come on,
That too.
they
Yeah.
finally hosted the NFL playoff game at Ford Field. We got
Yes.
you can't get past that excitement. Oh yeah, there's a Miami Dolphins and a Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs. No, I mean I'm really excited for the Rams and the Lions game. I think I'm looking forward to that game the most. I love the storyline, between Stafford and Goff. And I've told this story a few times now, but when they were traded, Stafford went from the Lions to the Rams and then Goff from the Rams to the Lions. I was kind of like, I feel like they're on the same level of quarterback play. And then, of course, Stafford won a Super Bowl that year, and everyone's like, "Oh no, Deb, you're so wrong. Stafford's so much better than Goff." But now here they are, right? They're playing each other in the wild card playoffs. So I'm extremely excited for the Lions. I think the Lions are a force this season. Obviously, they've won it out. This is the first time in the playoffs in 30 years. I actually have the Rams for this game. I love what Puka Nakua is doing. I love what Stafford's doing. He's on fire. Cooper Kupp. I can keep going. But yeah, I have this score at 27-24 in favor of the Rams. But again, this could be an upset too. I actually have two brackets, and I just talked about this. I have my real bracket and I have my heart bracket. And on my real bracket, I have the Rams winning, but in my heart bracket, I have the Lions winning. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got So you picked the Eagles to beat the Bucks, the Rams to beat the
yeah.
Lions. Obviously, I'm sorry, but I'm picking the Detroit Lions. This will be the year they win a
Go
playoff
ahead.
without question. The offense is just way too good.
I'm also excited about the Browns game and the Texans game. So I have CJ Stroud, who, if anyone who knows me and listens to the Blonde Blitz, everyone knows I love me some CJ Stroud, right? I saw him at the combine. I picked him out. I was like, this guy is going to kill it. I was excited to see him go to the Texans and rebuild that team. Who would have thought this time last year that the Texans would be in the playoffs this year? And then you have Joe Flacco. I'm from South Jersey. Joe Flacco is from South Jersey, and he's 38 years old. He's kind of reemerging. I actually saw him play against the Rams when they played a couple weeks ago. He looked great. Granted, the Rams did win that game, but I was excited to see Joe Flacco play, former Eagle as well. So
Yeah, that's gonna be.
it's going to be a good game. I mean, and Cleveland's defense is one of the best in the NFL. Myles Garrett. I thought they were doomed, to be honest. Like when Deshaun Watson got hurt, I thought they were done. But then they brought in Flacco. He's done really well. He's led to a 4-1 record over his last 5 starts. He's thrown for 300 yards, and he's gotten obviously multiple touchdowns as well. So, but CJ Stroud, on the other hand, I think he has Rookie of the Year locked up. Maybe neck and neck with Puka Nacua. We'll see. Stroud was just named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week last week for Week 18. I'm gonna go Houston on this game just because I love him so much. So I'm gonna go Houston 23, Browns 21. I think it's gonna be a really, really, really tight game and down to the wire. What do
Yeah,
you think?
you got an interesting point. I'm gonna share. Well, I'm gonna share a break with you. I'm gonna pick the Houston Texans to win just because I like the development that CJ Stroud has descended upon the Houston Texans since he came into the league. Because a year ago, let's not forget the Houston Texans was trash, but they were
Right.
competitive, but their record was trash.
Yeah.
But this time around, CJ Stroud, with him being the elusive homegrown quarterback that the Texans have longed for after Deshaun Watson left, he's
Right.
really changed the whole winning culture for the Houston Texans.
Mm-hmm.
And that will continue against the Cleveland Browns. Sorry, Joe Flacco. I love the run that you do for the. I love what you're doing for the Cleveland Browns, but your run's coming to an end.
But you got to give him credit, right? 38 years old, still playing at a high level. I mean, that's tough to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's very, very, very tough to do. And
Mm-hmm.
now we get to the Chiefs and the Dolphins. We already went over that one, but who you think is going to win this one? Because I'm picking Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm actually going Kansas City as well, but I think the Dolphins are going to give them a run for their money. Obviously, Tua, Tyreek Hill. I feel like the Dolphins it's a roller coaster in Miami this season. They've been up, they've been down, they've kind of been all over the field.
Not to mention they blew the game against the Buffalo Bills, a chance to win the division.
Right, absolutely. And the Bills are on fire too. We'll get to that. But I mean, and also too, I just want to make the point, for the first time, I think in Mahomes' career, the Kansas City is in the wild card game, right? Like that's, I believe, the first. And who would have thought this? If you would have said to me last year this time, and especially at the Super Bowl, that the Kansas City Chiefs were going to be in a wild card spot, I would have laughed at you. You know what I mean? But here we are. Their wide receiver core is just not that strong. That's definitely the hole in the offense. And I think it's definitely hurt them this season.
Yeah, I've been following the news. I see a lot of cases where the passing and with the passing offense between receivers and the quarterback is just the communication is just not there.
It's not there. I mean, and Travis Kelce can't do it all. I love Pacheco, also South Jersey guy. But they can't be all over the field, But that being said, I am picking Kansas City to win the game. I think you just never count out Mahomes, especially when he's under pressure. Playoffs are a whole other game. Also Andy Reid, one of the best coaches in the NFL ever. I do not count him out either. So yeah, I'm picking Kansas City. They're favored by 3.5. I'm going to say Kansas City 27, Miami 25.
That's a very interesting score. I got Kansas City on a late second touchdown. Without question.
Okay.
I'm going for that route. I'm going for it.
Okay.
Uh-huh. All right. Now we get to the next matchup. You mentioned the Buffalo Bills and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who would have thought the Pittsburgh Steelers would be back after Ben Roethlisberger retired
Absolutely. And Kenny Pickett went down. Like,
but then again, when you're being coached by Mike Tomlin, you bound for postseason success no matter what quarterback you use. I mean, the Steelers have got up and down. They've had seasons when they're not so great, but they also have seasons when they were good and they surprisingly made it to the playoffs. And funny story, the first time I actually paid full attention to the NFL was the Super Bowl win against the Seattle Seahawks in 2006.
Okay.
That just thought I'd put it out there. But I chose to be a Giants fan anyway, because I love the coach that they eventually built. But getting back to the Steelers, I mean, they're going to give Buffalo a run for their money, but Buffalo will come out on top. Come on now.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, the Bills are on a heater. Obviously, halfway through the season, the Bills weren't having as great of a season as everyone predicted. I actually took the Bills to win the Super Bowl in preseason. So when that was happening, I was kind of like, oh no, like what's going on? What's going on, in Bills land? But obviously they came back. Josh Allen is fire right now. They've won their last 5 games. The Steelers have done well. I mean, they've won their last 3. Mason Rudolph, props to him coming in as a third string quarterback. I think he probably should have been the second one all season, and has got the Steelers to win the last couple games, as well as I think Mike Tomlin's job might have been kind of iffy. But now that they're in the playoffs, obviously he's safe, and I do think Mason had something to do with that. The Bills are 10-point favorites on this one. I'm going to say Bills 32, Steelers 25. That's
a fact. All right, now we get to the final matchup: the Dallas Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers. And I said this on the last episode, so you can look it up on my YouTube channel as it's published right now. That I'm going to pick the Dallas Cowboys to beat to reach the NFC title game at least, possibly the Super Bowl. But if they run to the 49ers, the season's over because even with all the success they've had at home, they got you thinking they're going to make the Super Bowl with an undefeated home record. But let's not forget they barely got past the Detroit Lions that final whole game of the season.
Right. But that's interesting to me because you're picking the Eagles to beat San Francisco, but you're picking San Francisco to beat Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Just a feeling, okay.
Because Nikki was on the show with us the last time he came on. You know how Cowboy fans get. They probably
totally
for the Super Bowl this year. Now that they got the 2 seed, with the only real threat to get there is the San Francisco 49ers. But they can't beat the 49ers. We see that happen in the last few seasons and the regular season loss. And not to mention the fact that the Cowboys, they struggled against plus 500 teams. I mean, well, even though the Chargers did finish the sub 500 record at the end of the season, they were a plus 500 team at the time the Cowboys beat them on Monday Night Football. They won. I mean, all the wins have been against last place teams or teams with bad record. When they're on the road,
and that's true on the road. Yeah, Dallas is great at home, but can't seem to.
They barely lost to the Miami Dolphins, and they got wrecked by the Buffalo Bills the week before.
Yep.
And then
and to be honest, Dallas always
lost to your Philadelphia Eagles.
I know. Yeah. And Dallas always seems to choke in the playoffs. Like they have not been to the Super Bowl since 1996.
You're talking to a guy who lost to the New York Giants because R.W. McQuarters picked off Tony Romo in one home playoff game you had in 2007 on the way to us winning the Super Bowl. We added up. If anything, we were major contributions to the Cowboys' playoff misery.
Yeah. No, I mean, I do think that Dallas is going to beat Green Bay. I love Jordan Love.
I'm picking them to beat Green Bay.
You are?
Oh yeah, I'm picking them.
Okay. Like you are. No, I mean, I think Green Bay is going to give them a run for their money.
I remind you that it's Jordan Love quarterback, not Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
I
Right.
haven't seen enough of Jordan Love, so I don't know how well he's going to do. So outside
I
again,
mean, he made the playoffs, so, and I think,
he's going to
studying
join the
under
playoffs,
Aaron
but
Rodgers for the last
the
3
seven seed
years
does
really
not win
helped
the
him.
playoff game. I don't have faith in Jordan Love pulling off the upset over the Dallas Cowboys.
That was awesome. I love seeing cowboy tears, I have to be honest. And it's funny you played that because I got so much stuff. I don't curse. So I got so much stuff from my Dallas fans when, when the Eagles lost to Dallas. I was like, people were coming at me. I was like, guys, chill. Like I'm fine with Dak. Like I think Dak is having an MVP season. I love Parsons. Like I talk about him all the time. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys are a bad football team. It's just the rivalry. So it was just interesting that all of my Dallas Cowboy friends were like coming at me.
Well, that's what you get.
It's fine. I can handle it. Like I had answers for all of them, but still, like it was just weird. That's never happened to me before, but it is what it is.
Yeah. You see the build. Yeah, you see the build up, right? You see the build up for an implosion of the Dallas Cowboys, right? You see it.
Yeah, I see it. We already started, and Nikki and I talked about it. We already started to see it. Like it was all Dak was MVP, the talk, and then they
What did Nikki
started
think about the
losing a
Cowboys
little
getting to
bit.
the NFC Championship game after now they're a 2 seed? What did Nikki say?
What was that?
What did Nikki say when you talked about the Dallas Cowboys and the Packers?
Oh, I don't. Oh no. I mean, we talked about. She said the same thing I said as far as like Dallas. She thinks Dallas is going to win too, but yeah, like she was just like boohoo for the fans, because obviously she's giant. She hates Dallas too, but she obviously wants Green Bay to win because anybody who plays Dallas, she doesn't want to win. So
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's a very interesting point. All right, let's get a little bit about what you've been up to since the last time you were on the show. I mean, outside of the Blonde Blitz podcast, because I remember
sure.
you in the DMs. You told me about some more production work. You already
Yeah.
working on another season of Elizabeth's show and some other
Yes.
production work.
Yes.
Great
So some great stuff I've been working on. I'm still actually with iCrime with Elizabeth Vargas. We're actually wrapping up that season. We finished production a couple of months ago, like 2 months ago, but I'm still in the post world. We'll be wrapping that up, and we're looking forward to a season 3. That should be exciting. And I'm also working on a pilot for Lifetime, which unfortunately I can't talk a lot about, but it's a family type show, and yeah, we'll see. Hopefully that will come to fruition soon. But I've been shooting, kind of across the U.S. I'm in Maryland right now, and I'll be back in LA next week. I'm going to Emmys on Monday, so
You
uh,
go.
yeah, I'm going. Well, and this is interesting because the Emmys are the same time as the Eagles game. So I literally will be at the Emmys with my phone out and watching the Eagles game as I'm at the Emmys.
So you can snag another Emmy award to put on the back, put on the living room.
No, I'm not nominated. I'm just going, but because I'm a member of the Academy. But I was nominated, so I actually had a nomination for Judge Steve Harvey for the daytime Emmys. That was about a month ago now. We unfortunately didn't win. We lost to the People's Court, but good for them, and I'm happy for my friends. But yeah, so this is the primetime Emmys. I'm not nominated, but I'm just going. But you best believe I will be rocking some sort of Eagles logo on the red carpet.
Okay, so you're gonna be watching the Emmys and the Grammy Awards. Don't worry about it. I mean, just enjoy the Emmys, and then after that, when the Eagles, when you turn on to the Eagles game, either it's cry Eagles cry or fly Eagles fly.
Well, hopefully it'll be Fly Eagles Fly, but yes, I'm gonna watch the game no matter what. So yeah, I'll be secretly with my phone down watching the game as
Yeah.
much as I can.
But yeah. What do you think about? I mean, we always think about how the sports fans and athletes being invested into the Emmy Awards.
I mean, I think everybody watches the Emmys, right?
Right, but this is a sports show.
Yeah, and I think I actually thought it was interesting because the Golden Globes, I believe they scheduled the Golden Globes on a Monday because they were scared of football season. So it's interesting that the Emmys are, scheduled the Emmys during a playoff game. I was kind of shocked. So I don't know who messed up there, but somebody did. So it affected me at least. So I don't know how many people it's affecting, but it's definitely affecting me. So
Yeah. I secretly watched the War Rumble when I was at the Grammy Awards viewing party like
yeah,
5 years ago. So now you know how I feel.
yeah, yeah. No, and the Emmys are great, Grammys, all the above. Any Academy Awards. The award shows are always fun. I love red carpet, so whenever I have a chance to get on a red carpet, I'm definitely there.
Yeah.
even even at any sporting events too.
I
So
mean, but the fact that you got a nomination in the last award show, it's a big time. It's a big deal.
it is, yeah. It's actually my ninth nomination. I have 2 Emmys, so no, it's always a really, I'm proud of all my coworkers and my colleagues that get nominated, because it's a team effort, just like sports. TV is also a team effort. We all work really, really hard as a team. There's so many different aspects of producing that no one quite knows what it is, and there's staffs are like 30, 40 people, so there's just so many different facets of TV production, and we all have to work together to a team to achieve the product that we want to achieve. So
Yeah, and you hosted a podcast with Nikki. Heck, maybe you never know. Maybe if you do the production work, maybe if you keep it up, you could get you and Nikki's show on a TV station one of these days.
that's our hope. That's what Nikki and I are hoping for, and also our producer Dan. We're working really hard. We just launched our new YouTube channel. We also have a Spotify list. We're actually, after the season's over, we've got some fun interviews lined up with some different former players, current players, and yeah, we're definitely gonna keep up with the podcast. So even after NFL season's done, we're still gonna do it and have it for all you guys. Actually, Nikki's talking about a calendar too, so that'll be interesting, because we did a photo shoot about in October. Actually, we
Yeah, I
did a
love the
photo
photos
shoot.
where you and Nikki were on the football field,
Yeah.
showing up and showing out with the blonde hair.
Yep.
Yeah, I love the
Hmm.
photo shoot.
Yep, and we will also be at Super Bowl together. So we're talking about doing a live feed from Super Bowl, one of the day, or Super Bowl week, at least, not actually at the Super Bowl, but during a party or something. We're probably going to do a live feed. I don't want to say which one yet, because the details are kind of being developed right now. But so Nikki and I will be out there in Vegas together, and you'll see some of that footage as well.
Yeah, hopefully your Philadelphia Eagles can somehow get to the Super Bowl. But
Right? I mean, fingers crossed. It's gonna be a tougher road this season than I think last season was, but you never know. And also, too, the Eagles did have a really rough schedule. Like, they had one of the toughest schedules of any team in the NFL. So, you know, it is what we'll see. We can all pray.
yeah, but try to make sure you maintain the confidence that you had, or build off the confidence, because let's not forget, a long time ago the Eagles almost made to the Super Bowl as a 6th seed in 2008.
Hmm.
Before
That's true. No, and
they ran into
honestly,
the
like,
Arizona Cardinals. I mean, granted, it's a different
that's
roster, but just hold on to hope that it can happen again.
absolutely. And that's why I love Philly sports, because of that drive, because of that passion. I mean, look at the Phillies, and we talked about the Phillies when
They
they
lost to
were
the Arizona Diamondbacks.
right, but no, this last year, you know what I mean? Like,
Win the World Series.
right, 2 years in a row. Well, so they didn't go this year, they didn't obviously go to the World Series this year, but the year before they were the whatever seed, they were like 6th seed, and they won and won and won and won, and then actually won up in the World Series. Granted, they lost, but then this season they did fairly the same thing. So if Philly sports just has that drive and has that passion, and the Eagles love the underdog mentality, and I think they might have it here. So never give up on them.
Philadelphia is hosting WrestleMania this year. I mean, I know you probably don't.
Yes.
I know you're not. I know you're not a wrestling fan, but Philadelphia is hosting WrestleMania this year, so
Yep.
looking, looking
I
forward.
might be actually, to be honest. So one of my friends that I went to college with is involved with WWE, so I'm actually trying to get some tickets for
Give me
that.
a pass. Give me.
Yeah, right. I know I will. Yeah, I just have to work on it. So
Yeah, you don't want special for the shit. Don't.
no, I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm not.
Please.
But it's nice that I have connections to that as well. Just going back all the way to college. So
And you know what? You should definitely start following the WWE too, because The Rock came back. See,
it's
Punk came
legit.
back. It's Randy Orton came back. It's starting to build up.
It's fun. Yeah, no, I've always, to be honest, covered or liked not covered it, but I've always enjoyed WWE back from like Hulk Hogan in those days. I've had friends that are wrestlers. So yeah, I'm kind of in the know. I've just never actually covered it. I've never been, reported on it, but you never know.
Well, that was this episode. Nothing but that sports talk. Thank you for stopping by, Deb, with Cash.
Of course.
Have you on the show, and hopefully you get to have more appearances coming on Nothing But That Sports Talk, and these more times with the NFL playoffs about to kick off.
Yes. Let's go wild card weekend. Super wild card weekend. We can't wait. Go Birds.
For Deb Webcast, Rafik Lewis on so long from Maryland and New York.
Bye, guys.